Alright, I hope you guys are ready to have your mind blown. God gave me so much revelation the other day, and I'm going to share some more revelation with you. He was revealing things to me like I couldn't imagine. So what do we have here? Let's start off with one thing at a time. In 2017, the Revelation chapter 12 sign happened in the sky. It says that it was the woman with the moon under her feet, the crown with the 12 stars, and she was covered with the sun. Okay, that happened on September 9, 23 in 2017. Now we go to the year 2025, in which I've shown everything pointing to a Feast of Trumpets 2025, Rapture of the Church, which is, again, 9/23. The Revelation chapter 12 sign happened on 9/23 of 2017. 2025, the Feast of Trumpets happens to be 9/23. We know that this is not a coincidence. God does these things to show us. So, when I started off seeing that pattern, somebody pointed that out to me. She said, isn't the Revelation 12 sign on 9/23 also? I said, yeah. So I did a day count from the Revelation 12 sign to 2025 Feast of Trumpets. Falls on the same day except different years. And the day count is 2,922 days. The first thing I saw with this is that's marking out the last 7 years. 2022 to 2029, the last Shemitah or 7-year cycle. So I said, wow, that's an amazing coincidence. Then another thing that I saw with 2025 is, flip it around, 2520. You know what that is? That's the exact amount of days for 7 years. Yes. Yes, okay. So that's one thing that I saw. Now, if you take the day count from 2017 to 2025, 2,922, you look in the Strong's Concordance under this number, you get, now this was amazing to me, covered for protection and lamb. That's what I've been claiming. Feast of Trumpets Rapture in 2025. The day count from the Revelation 12 sign is 2922, and you look it up in the Strong's Concordance, it means covered for protection and lamb. Well, what is the Revelation 12 sign? It's a picture of glorification. The woman clothed with the sun, glorified. That's a you see that? See the connect? Covered for protection, and it's coming from the Revelation 12 sign date to the Feast of Trumpets date, 2025, okay? Now, why is this even more incredible to me? Because of what I found before. If you go to the Hebrew year, not 2025, but in Hebrew, the year is 5785. So 2025 in the Hebrew year is 5785. Do you know what you get when you go to that in the Strong's Concordance? You get skins. Well, how does skins and cover for protection with the lamb connect? Well, in the garden, what did God cover them with? Skins in Eden. That was a picture of glorification. So we have everything showing us 923, covered in skins, covered for protection with the lamb. The day count, that is what the Revelation chapter 12 sign is. It's a picture of glorification. You can't even make this stuff up. And you got the 7 years showing you 29 to 22. Flip it around, 22 to 29. Then flip 2025 around, 25-20. That's exactly 7 years. Feast of Trumpets in Hebrew is called Yom Teruah. Teruah means a shout or a blast. Do you know what it says for the rapture in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4? That he descends with the shout and with the trump of God. A shout and a blast. That's the Feast of Trumpets. You know when he says no man know the day or the hour? That's the Feast of Trumpets, because they didn't know within a 2-day window period when the sliver of the new moon would come out for the new year. Or, well, let's just say for Rosh Hashanah. That a lot of Jews believe that's New Year. So, but if you go on the other calendar, then Nisan 1 is the New Year. So that would be March. Okay. Either way, it's the Feast of Trumpets. Regardless if it's the New Year, the Feast of Trumpets. So no man knew the day or the hours because they were looking for the sighting of the new moon within a 2-day period. And nobody knew when it was. They had to look. That's why he said, look. He said, look up. Why? Look up because you got to look for the moon. No man knows the day or the hour doesn't mean what what Christianity tells people. We have a Jewish culture book. A lot of their idioms. And in their culture, they would have known exactly what they meant. Just like Indian tribes. They have sayings. Just like any culture. So we have a Jewish culture with Jewish sayings. But we have no idea unless we find out through Revelation. That is when the rapture is. I am fully convinced in my mind. And again, I've shown how if you take 20 times 25, you get the number 500. Well, if you look in the Strong's Concordance at the number 500, in the Hebrew... No, excuse me. Well, either way, there's two. In the Hebrew and in the Greek. One of them is Antichrist. How convenient. Right in the middle of the 7. And then the other one is God ascends. God ascends, and this goes back to the cloud sitting on the tabernacle. Israel could not move forward until the cloud with God's glory ascended up in heaven. That's Exodus chapter 40. Another thing, that's 40 Jubilees from Jesus. Okay? 2,000 years. Exodus chapter 40. So we see that type of shadow of the rapture in Exodus chapter 40. That the cloud was on the tabernacle with the glory of God in it. And they could not move forward on their journey until the cloud ascended. That's in 2025. That's a picture of the church. We are caught up in the cloud. Get it? So even 500 points to that. So all this is just incredible to me. How it's all connected to the numbers and the Strong's Concordance and the day counts. Everything. It's all connected. It's a code. It's Bible code. Nobody's going to tell you this. Why? Because they don't know it. Who am I? I'm nobody. I'm just somebody that God is using. That's all. You can't learn this in a seminary. You can't learn this from 99.9% of the teachers out there. However, there are teachers that are getting different revelations. We all have different parts in the body. Right? We all have different parts in the body. So God is working through all of us just in different ways. But this, to me, is incredible. There's probably nobody else on the earth that can show you this. Why? Because I didn't learn this from anybody. I'm sitting here reading, and all of a sudden things pop in my mind, and then I can't even explain it. I can't even explain how I come to some of these things. It just pops into my mind. Do this. That's what's being led. I'm being led by the Spirit. Do this. Now do this. Add this up. What about this? And it's like these thoughts are just coming to me. And that's what the book of Revelation explains, like living water flowing, right? The rock, when Moses hit the rock, he split the rock and the living water went flowing out. Well, that's like the inside of you. You know, it splits the rock and living water comes out from you. Living water, that's symbolic of the Word. Or, excuse me, the Spirit, probably. Spirit, the Word, the bread is the Word and such. It's all connected. And one last thing. The number 923, when you look up the number 923 in the Strong's Concordance, you get, this is amazing, to glisten white like marble or alabaster red. To glisten. That's glorification. Look it up yourself, 923 in the Strong's Concordance. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And also, if you type in Feast of Trumpets on the Gematria calculator, you just Google Gematria calculator, type in Feast of Trumpets, and it's 923. Now, the amazing thing is that if you look in the past 15 years or ahead, Feast of Trumpets does not fall on 923 only in 2025. Within years, I look back to 2010 and it never fell on 923. And I looked forward a few years too. Never fell on 923. Only in 2025. And if you look up you type in Feast of Trumpets in Hebrew Gematria, it's 923. Yeah, how crazy that is. And all of these other things connecting to 923, Feast of Trumpets in 2024. That's insane. That's insane, guys. This is by revelation.